The showroom floor at Silverline Motors buzzed with morning energy. Sunlight gleamed off the freshly waxed luxury cars, but inside the glass walls, tension simmered beneath polished surfaces. Shane, a cocky salesman in a tailored suit, sipped his espresso while scanning the lot. "Here we go again," he muttered, eyeing an elderly couple stepping cautiously into the dealership. Their clothes were modest, their movements slow. "Bet they can't afford the tires." "Don't waste your time," chimed in Lisa, flipping her blonde hair as she finished filing her nails. "They're just here to waste ours." Shane grinned and sauntered over, fake charm painted across his face. "Good morning, folks. Welcome to Silverline. Our budget models are on that end." He gestured vaguely, already turning away. The old man blinked. "We were actually looking for," Shane didn't wait to hear it, across the room, a new hire named Kyle watched, uneasily shifting on his feet. It was only his second week, but he'd seen enough to feel uncomfortable. The way Shane and Lisa treated people based on their appearance, it didn't sit right with him. Then came the next guest. A woman in an oversized coat, worn jeans, and a tired face stepped inside. Her eyes scanned the vehicles, lighting up for a moment at a sleek black SUV. Lisa rolled her eyes. "This one looks like she lives in her car." "I got this," Shane said smugly, walking over with rehearsed indifference. "Hey, ma'am. Sorry, we're not running a tour service today." The woman didn't respond. Just looked around, taking mental notes. Behind her, Kyle noticed something odd, a small earpiece in her ear. She caught him looking. For a second, she winked. Kyle's eyes widened. Something wasn't adding up. Kyle couldn't shake the feeling. The woman in the coat, something about her didn't match the image she projected. Her quiet confidence, the way she walked with purpose, the subtle earpiece tucked behind her hair, it all hinted at something more. But Shane and Lisa didn't see it. They never looked past the surface. The woman continued moving through the showroom, stopping to inspect a luxury sedan. She didn't touch anything, just observed. Shane followed her closely, wearing a smirk like he was performing. "So what brings you here today?" he asked, voice laced with sarcasm. "Looking for a car to dream about?" She looked at him calmly. "Just browsing." "Right. Well, our vehicles start at $70,000. We don't exactly do window shopping tours." Lisa chuckled from behind her desk. "Maybe check out the used lot down the street." Kyle flinched. It was cruel, and worse, it was standard here. Every customer not dressed like money was dismissed or humiliated. He'd witnessed it again and again. But this woman didn't flinch. She simply smiled, as if filing every comment away. Then, discreetly, she reached into her coat and pressed a button on a tiny device. Her demeanor never changed. It was smooth, practiced. Like she'd done this before. Kyle approached carefully. "Ma'am, do you need any assistance?" he asked, offering genuine kindness. Her eyes met his, and for a moment, the aloof expression softened. "Thank you, young man. That's very kind. What's your name?" "Kyle." "Well, Kyle," she said, "you might want to pay attention today." He blinked. "Why?" She leaned closer. "Because things are about to change around here." Shane scoffed nearby. "Did she just threaten us?" Lisa snorted. "What's she gonna do, write a Yelp review?" Kyle stared at the woman, a strange feeling blooming in his chest. Something big was coming. Back in her office, tucked away from the sales floor's chaos, Regional Director Dana Prescott adjusted her blazer and tapped into her secure tablet feed. The hidden cameras planted inside the showroom, embedded in light fixtures, desk panels, even a faux air freshener, streamed everything live. Dana was the woman in the coat. For 2 weeks, she'd planned this covert inspection after multiple anonymous complaints surfaced about discriminatory behavior at Silverline Motors. Customers had described humiliation, condescension, and outright neglect from sales staff. She had to see it herself. And now she had, recorded in high definition, with crystal clear audio, she clicked a button and sent the footage to her assistant, tagging it with a single word, prepare. Meanwhile, Shane leaned on the counter, laughing with Lisa. You'd think corporate would hire better security for these people. She looked like a ghost from 2008. Lisa nodded, sipping her iced coffee. We should start charging entry fees to keep the riffraff out. Kyle, standing nearby, looked like he wanted to disappear. Every instinct screamed at him to say something, to stop it, but how? He was the new guy. If he spoke up, they'd just bury him too. Then Shane's phone rang. That IT was an internal number, corporate. He answered casually. Shane speaking. Mr. Adams, this is Meredith from corporate HR. Please inform your entire staff that a company executive will be conducting an in-person audit today. Effective immediately. His smile faltered. An executive? Here? Today? That's correct, she said. We recommend full cooperation. They may already be present. Click. Shane froze. He turned to Lisa. Corporate sending someone, now. Lisa straightened. Wait, what? Kyle swallowed hard, heart racing. He glanced toward the woman in the coat. She was gone, but her presence still lingered like a storm gathering strength. Shane burst into the break room, slamming the door behind him. Lisa followed, her heels clacking frantically. What do you mean, they're already here? She demanded. He paced. That lady, the one in the coat. What if she was the exec? Lisa scoffed, but her voice trembled. No way. She looked like a soccer mom going through a rough patch. Shane glared at her. You didn't see that earpiece. She was watching. Listening. Everything we said. Kyle lingered outside the door, pretending to sip water while listening in. His mind spun. If she really was an executive, then everything they said to her, every insult, every smug dismissal, was documented. Inside the break room, Lisa's facade cracked. Do you think she heard what I said about the old couple? Or that guy yesterday, the one with the accent? Shane didn't answer. His phone buzzed again, this time a text. Meeting. Conference room. 2 p.m. Mandatory. Lisa peeked over his shoulder. You think that's her? He nodded grimly. She's pulling strings now. Meanwhile, on the sales floor, Kyle caught the old couple from earlier still waiting patiently near the exit. No one had offered them water, a seat, or even acknowledged them again. Feeling guilty, Kyle walked over. I'm really sorry for the way you were treated, he said. Can I offer you a coffee? A seat? The woman smiled warmly. Thank you, dear. You're the only one who's spoken to us kindly. The man looked at Kyle. We've owned 4 Mercedes in our lives. We came here to buy our 5th. Kyle winced. At that moment, Dana reappeared at the top of the stairs, now dressed sharply in a tailored black blazer, eyes scanning the room like a general before battle. Nobody recognized her, but they would, very soon. At exactly 2 p.m., the staff of Silverline Motors gathered in the glass-walled conference room, unsure of what to expect. Shane sat stiffly at the head of the table, trying to project confidence, while Lisa picked at her nails with trembling fingers. Kyle sat quietly at the far end, heart pounding. The door opened, Dana stepped in, transformed. Gone was the oversized coat and tired expression. Now she stood poised in a crisp black blazer, sleek slacks, and polished heels. Her hair was neatly styled, and her expression was calm but unreadable. Shane's jaw dropped. Lisa's coffee slipped from her hand, splashing onto the table. Kyle, on the other hand, sat up straighter, suddenly understanding everything. Dana walked to the front of the room and turned to face them. Good afternoon, she said. My name is Dana Prescott. I'm the regional director for Silverline Motors. For the past 48 hours, I've been conducting an undercover inspection of this dealership. Dead silence. She let the words settle like bricks. In that time, I observed customer interactions, employee behavior, and the general culture within this location. I came disguised as a potential customer. What I experienced was deeply disappointing. Shane opened his mouth. Ms. Prescott, if we had known, she raised a hand. That's exactly the point. You didn't know. And because of that, I saw the truth. Lisa looked pale, Dana continued. I was insulted. Ignored. Dismissed. But more importantly, I watched how other customers were treated, elderly couples, immigrants, people in modest clothes, all treated like burdens instead of human beings. Her voice sharpened. This dealership does not reflect the values of our brand. That ends today. The room felt like it had dropped 10 degrees, Kyle looked around, knowing everything was about to change. Dana let the silence stretch, letting the weight of her words sink in. Every face around the table told a story, Shane's smugness now replaced with panic, Lisa's arrogance reduced to silence, and Kyle's cautious curiosity brimming with realization. You may think this is just about bad manners, Dana said, pacing slowly. It's not. It's about brand damage. It's about discrimination. It's about a toxic culture that's grown in this dealership unchecked. She stopped beside Shane. Mr. Adams. You've worked here for 6 years. A top seller, I hear? He nodded quickly, trying to recover. Yes, ma'am. I hit my quota every month. And in doing so, Dana said coldly, you've also driven away customers who didn't look like money. You mocked them, humiliated them, and taught others to do the same. That's not salesmanship. That's ego. Shane's face flushed red. Dana turned to Lisa. And you? You created an atmosphere of judgment. Laughing at accents, mocking appearances, your behavior was not only unprofessional, it was cruel. Lisa looked down, ashamed, then Dana turned to Kyle Damar. Reynolds. You're new here. Yes, ma'am, he said cautiously. I reviewed footage of you assisting that elderly couple today. You were the only one who showed empathy and professionalism. That is what we expect from a Silverline employee. Kyle's eyes widened. Dana addressed the room. Effective immediately, there will be mandatory sensitivity training. Leadership roles are under review. Some of you will remain. Others will not. A beat passed. Shane Adams, Lisa Green, you're both suspended pending further investigation. Please turn in your badges. Gasps erupted. Dana didn't flinch. Shane stood, furious. You can't do this. Dana met his eyes. I just did. As security entered the room, Kyle realized the rules had changed, and so had the power dynamic. Shane stormed out of the conference room, escorted by security, his face twisted with disbelief. Lisa trailed behind, her steps unsteady, eyes darting as if searching for a way to undo the last 30 minutes. The remaining staff sat frozen. No one dared speak. Dana remained at the front of the room, composed. For those still here, let me be clear, this is not a punishment. It's a wake-up call. Every customer who walks through those doors deserves dignity, no matter how they look, speak, or dress. She paused. And for those of you who feel this was unfair, ask yourselves why. Ask yourselves what you would have done differently had you known I was watching. The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was reflective. After the meeting, Kyle returned to his desk. The showroom had changed. Not in appearance, but in energy. No more laughter at someone's expense. No more whispered insults. Just a heavy air of realization. Customers started to trickle in again. An older man with oil-stained boots. A woman in scrubs. A young man with a backpack and worn sneakers. All were greeted differently now, carefully, respectfully. The staff was learning to recalibrate. Kyle spotted the elderly couple once more. He walked over with a smile. If you're still interested, I'd love to show you that model you asked about earlier. The old man grinned. We never left. We were waiting to see how the story ended. Kyle guided them gently to the car. It's just getting started. Upstairs, Dana watched from the office window. Her job wasn't just enforcing policy, it was restoring humanity. She smiled as Kyle opened the car door for the couple. Sometimes, you had to shake the tree to make the rotten fruit fall. The days following Dana's undercover revelation brought a palpable shift to Silverline Motors. The once tense atmosphere began to soften as the remaining staff grappled with the consequences of their actions and the opportunity for redemption. Kyle, now recognized for his integrity, was promoted to lead the customer relations team. He approached his new role with humility, focusing on fostering a culture of respect and empathy. He organized workshops on customer service excellence and invited feedback from both staff and clients to ensure continuous improvement. The dealership introduced a new initiative, Customer Stories. Each week, a client would share their experience, highlighting the importance of every individual's journey. These stories were displayed prominently, reminding everyone that behind every purchase was a person with dreams and aspirations. Dana remained involved, conducting regular check-ins and offering mentorship. She emphasized that change was a continuous process, requiring commitment and accountability. Her presence served as a constant reminder of the values Silverline Motors stood for. One afternoon, the elderly couple returned, greeted warmly by Kyle and the team. They shared their story during a Customer Stories session, expressing gratitude for the transformation they witnessed. Their words resonated deeply, reinforcing the impact of genuine connection and respect. As the dealership embraced its renewed ethos, a sense of unity emerged. Staff members supported one another, celebrating successes and learning from setbacks. The focus shifted from mere sales to building lasting relationships. Silverline Motors began to receive positive reviews, with customers praising the attentive service and welcoming environment. The dealership's reputation improved, attracting a diverse clientele who felt valued and respected. Through introspection and dedication, Silverline Motors transformed from a place of prejudice to a beacon of inclusivity. The journey was ongoing, but the foundation was solid, a testament to the power of accountability and the human capacity for change. 3 weeks after Dana's intervention, Silverline Motors was no longer the same dealership, it was the talk of the industry. Word had spread about the bold move by a regional director who disguised herself to uncover the truth. Social media picked it up, with headlines reading, "Executive goes undercover, cleans house at luxury dealership." People began visiting just to see if the rumors were true. Dana, while back at headquarters, continued monitoring the transformation through customer surveys, employee check-ins, and surprise evaluations. What she saw pleased her. Kyle was thriving, customers were smiling, and even formerly quiet employees were stepping up with fresh enthusiasm. One of those employees was Marissa, a receptionist who had kept her head down for years. Encouraged by the change, she proposed a welcome walkthrough for every new customer, guiding them through the showroom and answering questions without pressure to buy. It was a hit. Kyle also implemented a new mentorship program, pairing seasoned staff with new hires to teach not just sales techniques but also emotional intelligence and respectful engagement. Dana returned one afternoon, unannounced, to observe. She walked in wearing the same coat she wore the first time. A salesman she'd never met approached immediately, smiling. "Welcome to Silverline Motors. May I offer you a coffee while we get to know what you're looking for today?" Dana smiled. "That's a lovely offer, thank you." Kyle stepped out of his office, saw her, and nodded with subtle pride. She nodded back. Outside, a reporter was setting up a camera. He approached Kyle. "Can I ask, how did this dealership turn around so fast?" Kyle smiled. "Simple. We stopped judging books by their covers." Silverline's once damaged reputation was not just restored, it was reborn. 6 months later, Silverline Motors stood as a model of transformation. What once had been a showroom tainted by elitism and prejudice now radiated openness, trust, and genuine hospitality. The ripple effect of Dana Prescott's undercover visit continued to spread beyond just the dealership. Other branches across the region began implementing similar training and culture audits. Kyle, now the official floor manager, walked through the showroom each morning, not checking quotas, but checking hearts. "How did we treat people yesterday?" he often asked in team huddles. Let's do better today. It wasn't a slogan, it was a standard. Employees who had once followed Shane's lead now followed Kyle's, embracing values they had never prioritized before. Lisa, after undergoing weeks of corporate-mandated training and personal coaching, requested to return, not to reclaim her old title, but to work in community outreach. Dana, after reviewing her growth, allowed it. Lisa now coordinated weekly test drive events with underserved communities, offering driving lessons to those who had never imagined owning a luxury car. Redemption was not given, it was earned. Meanwhile, Dana received a promotion, Vice President of Ethical Sales Development. Her work at Silverline became the blueprint for a company-wide initiative focused on empathy-driven service. The elderly couple? They drove their fifth Mercedes proudly, this time with a Silverline license plate frame that read, "Where respect rides first." On the one-year anniversary of the transformation, Kyle stood before the entire team. "We were given a second chance. Most businesses never get one. So let's not waste it." Applause filled the showroom. A business once known for treating customers like garbage had been reborn, not through gimmicks, but through truth, courage, and humility, and all because someone had the courage to wear a coat and listen.